Hi everybody, my name is Cathleen, or Caddy. It's very nice to meet you all. Today I'm going to give you guys my vocational narrative. I again have to apologize for the delay on this video. I've actually been very sick and haven't been able to speak very well lately, so I appreciate your patience. I'm very excited to tell you guys a little bit about who I am, where I've come from, and what I believe my vocation has aspired me to be, and all the different options I think God is giving me based on what my vocation is and what He's calling me to do. So first I could start with the fact I was 16 years old and I decided that I wanted to be nothing but a lawyer. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be defense or prosecutor at the time, but I just knew I wanted to get in the courtroom and just hammer down and, just let my light shine. And, I'm an arguer, so I just knew I was going to be a lawyer. Couldn't let anybody tell me anything different. As time went on, it became the time in senior year to start applying for schools. And, I was so big on going to Wazoo or Western or Eastern. I wanted to go to a big school and have football and all that. But then I started looking at more private schools with different programs, and I saw SPU come to the light. And then I found out my best friend was going, so we toured together, and I applied, and I got accepted. And from then on, I learned that it was a Christian school, and I was so excited to have that opportunity to continue to grow in my Christian faith, on my Christian walk, and to be educated in a liberal arts setting, but also to still understand the way God works and how He works. And at my age, I think it's so important that you know who God is in the transition of being a teenager to a young adult. And I often felt like I wasn't getting that spiritual feeding I needed. So SP was a big help for that. And then from then on, I decided to pursue poli-sci. So I've come to the theme of my life where it's okay, so I knew what I wanted to do. I was at a place where I was familiar with the setting of, being around fellow Christians and having that overall community and fellowship with people, being able to openly talk about God and have that worship with people. That was really special to me. So it made me realize how much I like being around people and how, again, I still want to help others and listen and just be that light and that guide. And oftentimes, just to sit down and really get to know people and have that relationship and communication with others. And then I realized, maybe law school exactly wasn't for me. I had the opportunity in high school to be an intern at the King County Prosecutor's Office with paralegals and attorneys and social advocates in the domestic violence unit. And that was a big change in my life and my goal plan. I started working specifically with paralegals and the social advocates, and I was able to sit in on their interviews with children and women that had been dealing with domestic violence and, all the abuse in their homes and their relationships. And it really took a toll on my heart, and it put footprints on my heart, and it reminded me of how fortunate I was to be in a family, that I was loved, and I knew I was loved, but most importantly, to have parents that I do have. And it made me take a step back into what exactly I wanted to do. And although being a lawyer is so much important, I just felt it's a little more sincere and it's a little more direct to actually sit there and be a part of someone's journey to healing and the process of getting their lives back together and reminding them that it's okay and it's a new day and there's a new chapter. You can start over anytime you want to. And a social advocate in that sense is, socially helping you, getting you to a place what you need to be that's better for you, your family, your career, your future. And I've taken that with that passion, and I went to SPU with that in the back of my mind, still holding the law dream up here, but kind of keeping that paralegal mindset near. And it's kind of, allowed me to push the paralegal services up more or being a social advocate. And I will have the opportunity to kind of just take a vocation class my freshman year, and it made me realize exactly what my calling has always been. And it's really to be a service, to connect with people, to help them. I think I've always known and I've always been taught, being raised in a church all my life, that we are always, on the mindset to serve God and to serve Him in our best way possible. And I think it's important now, as I'm getting older, that I realize that I want to serve my community. I want to serve my area. I want to serve my city, my state, like people here, people I see struggling or people that need help. Like, I want to be that light in their lives, and I want to be that advocate for change, for the better for them. And I think just being taught what it means to actually have a calling and have a desire and a passion to do something. And, I've prayed and I've meditated and I've talked to family members and my sister and, people that went to college, people that have changed their minds. And, my sister always told me, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So, and it's really true because, like I said, I came in college having this mindset that I'm going to take these 4 years to build up to my dream. But overall, I found new dreams, new passions, new interests. And I think that's what having a vocation is kind of almost about. It's important in college because you have 4 years really to grow and expand and to cultivate your mind and really actually connect with who you are, but find who you are and things you want to do. And they always say if you do something you want to do, you'll never actually work a day in your life. And I've come to the conclusion that I just think my calling overall is always going to be to serve, to help, to be that light that I can be in people's lives, have God's light shine through me so I can shine it on to others and remind them, that you can have a faith and you can believe. And, God is always going to call you to do things. He might call you to do something particular, or he might call you to do a lot of things. He might call you to change your life, or he might call you to change other lives, whatever it is. I just want to remind people that God is real, God is there, and because he's had such an impact on my life, I feel like I can bring my religion and my faith into a career that allows people to know, I'm dedicated, I'm serious, and I'm ready to be that person that can change lives. And I think there's no better way in my personal path and dreams and aspirations than to be a social advocate for domestic violence units, for children and women and anyone that kind of goes through that. And I think that could be something I could build into. So overall, I've just come to realize that vocation really it's a very broad term, and it kind of, you take your own mindset and mentality and definition into it, and you kind of mold it into who you are or what you want it to be. But at the end of the day, your vocation is always going to be that alone time, that walk with God that you have, that moment in your life when you feel like you hear him, you see him, you feel him in something that has never happened to you before, and you kind of know, like, either I may not be on the right path, God, and I may not know exactly what I'm doing, but I feel you there, I know you're here, and I'm going to continue to be called to you and to continue to, be on your plan and follow your will, Lord, and see where it takes me. And I think that's something I've reminded myself all these 4 years, and I'm going to continue to remind myself of that the rest of my life. And I'm just very, very fortunate to know and be at a school like SPU that has actually helped me realize what my vocation and my calling is from God. So I appreciate you guys listening to my vocation narrative today, and hopefully you guys will respond and I can get some great feedback and we can meet each other later in the quarter. Okay, thank you. Have a good one. Be blessed. Bye-bye.